Hello and welcome to day one of week 8 of Split 1 of the 2020 OPL. I've already ruined everything. I'm Nick by Richardson. I am joined by Tim Carbon Wendell.
What's up?
How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
I'm glad you are, because everyone else is gone.
Yeah, well, I'm in a non-at-risk group and I'm feeling very healthy, so...
You're old. No, young.
No, I'm young.
Middle-aged.
I'm officially young, despite what people call me. Yeah.
Right, okay, yeah. Me too. That's what I've been told. We are happy to have you here for the OPL. It is happening this week, which is very exciting. Obviously, there have been some changes to the OPL to life as you know it at the moment, and we're all just adapting as we go. The postponement of last Saturday's OPL games, the remaining Split 1 matches will be held online until further notice. So that means that the teams will not be coming into the building to compete. They'll be playing from their respective team houses or wherever they live. We, for the time being, will still be able to come into the studio, practice safe broadcasting practices.
Distance.
Important. No tongue.
No tongue. I mean, it's one of the cool things about esports, I guess. Obviously, you know, we'd rather not be dealing with, you know, infectious disease.
Yep.
But it's cool that the games get to continue and that we still get to enjoy what the teams are doing.
Absolutely. And so Tim is joining us for today, for this weekend, because Jake cannot come up because of Riot's travel policy at the moment that we can't have anyone flying interstate for the broadcast. So Jake, if you're watching, and I know you are, because what else are you doing with your life? Hi, and we miss you. But also, you know, this is a good opportunity to maybe blood Tim back into the OPL family and finally get rid of that Jake guy.
I mean, it's been a while since I've been on here. I drove Skimmy in this afternoon, trying to avoid public transport. And I was talking about it, and I don't think I've actually casted a game since last year sometime. So it's been a little hiatus for me, but excited to get back into it.
So this is going to be wild.
Yeah, I mean, it could be really, really bad, but that's also entertaining.
Well, speaking of really bad, that is arguably better for us.
Yeah.
Really bad is great. And speaking of really bad, the OPL anime competition. No, actually speaking of really good, you guys have been sending in some amazing OPL anime. We've got some winners, I believe, from last week, from last Saturday's cancelled broadcast. There he is himself. It's Jake Tiberi?
Tiberi.
Tiberi? How would you...
Oh, well, actually, it's Tibbers, right? So
yeah, it's
Tiberi.
And Tiberi.
Jake Tiberi.
Whatever.
Doing a little fire fart.
Yeah, that's a...
Don't know why they needed to add that in, but...
That's okay.
That's anime, I guess.
And then we've got... this is coming in from Higgly Juff. And who is this one?
I think that's Schernfire.
It is.
So that's Schernfire slashing the Direwolves logo in half and putting on his Team Liquid jersey. So a little bit of story, a little bit of narrative put into that image.
I like it.
Appreciate that.
A lot of flame to throw on the broadcast of the region that still has the Direwolves and not the region that has Liquid. That seems like you sent it into the wrong region. So congratulations to our OPL anime winners. But you can enter this week, of course. We have... we actually have the winners, for this week.
Oh.
This is the Darkstar... No, sorry, this is...
Wait.
Yeah, this is
an official image, right?
Yes,
yeah,
I was
okay.
like, oh my god.
I was like, wow, that's incredible.
This is so much better than
you need to not be sending that in to us. You need to be like working in this industry.
Totally.
But it is from someone who works in this industry.
It is, because if you send in your OPL anime drawings, not by midnight tonight, but by 3 p.m. tomorrow, you can win a Darkstar skin of your choice. There are some terms and conditions around that, so just check the website. If you don't own the champion of the skin that you like, you can also get the champ as well. Same rules apply, and you can send them in and have them flamed by us and criticized for all your hard work. But what else are they doing right now?
I mean, someone's got to criticize it, right?
That's right.
And they're not going to. They're not strong enough.
They're not going to do it because if they were strong enough to criticize it, they wouldn't have sent in such poor artwork in the first place. They would have
sent us in that other one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
that one which professionals made and were paid for.
That's what we would have received.
That's what we're looking for. So please.
Professionals of the world.
Professionals of the world. Now, Skimmy and Rusty are here, but we are just trying to maintain a bit of distance between all the casters, so we'll be rotating everybody out throughout the evening. So your favourites, by favourite, I mean
are
Rusty,
here already.
Are here already.
The others will be coming.
Can I ask, and I know that we need to get into Champ Select.
Yep.
But you you're a caster.
Yep.
You're a team manager. You're an
Yep.
or team owner.
Yep.
You're an ex-player.
Yep.
But you're also basically the landlord for the rotating carousel that is the play-by-play caster of the OPL.
Yes, that's true. That's another one of my roles. Basically, my house has one room that constantly empties because one person is always leaving.
Executing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, for instance, we've had E-Gym, Pyrotechnics, Skimmy now.
And who knows next?
And who knows what happens after he gets the axe. But in any case, we've had that place about 3 years now, and we've had a different caster in there every time. So.
Was this an unofficial thing? Is it like just because Bryce was living there, and then when Bryce left, then because Bryce was there, and then I guess I'm saying, are you getting some sort of remuneration for this from Riot?
I should be.
You should be.
I'm not. I don't get anything from them. No, it's just I'm just a good Samaritan.
You're just a good Samaritan.
I have a furnished place. Are you looking for a place, man? Come on in.
I guess this is what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Who knows what's going to happen, so I may need to move in. But we do know what's going to happen today. It is time for the OPL. Everyone is not in the building. They are at home, but they are ready and raring to play today's schedule. Game 1, Avant versus Legacy. Game 2, Order taking on Gravitas. Game 3, Pentanet.gg against the Chiefs. And rounding out the eve, we've got Mammoth versus Direwolves. Obviously, Legacy Avant is a game, Tim, that you're invested in. But what's your game in the day besides that?
Well, I think including that one, definitely the game of the day is Pentanet against the Chiefs. The Chiefs obviously coming off a loss last week on the Saturday against Direwolves. One more loss puts them, I think, on an even record as us. Assuming, is that right? No, they played, I think, one less game.
They played,
Yeah, they played one less game because they missed.
Yeah.
But it's really, for them, it's really important they don't lose any more games because that I think closes the distance between second and first. Second being Legacy, but also for Pentanet. I mean, they beat Legacy last week. They have their eyes on the finals, obviously, and if they're able to string again, if they're able to string 2 wins. One against second and one against first in the lead up to the end of the season. I think that's a really strong position for them to be in. Absolutely.
Well, let's take a look at the Avant lineup as we head into the first game of the day. It is Avant versus Legacy. Talk us through your opponents, Calvin.
Well, we've got Dragku in the top lane, Lisa playing jungle, Chaz playing mid, and Gungcrab and Arpy playing bot lane. Funny fact about this team is Lisa played on our OCS team last year. Both Chaz and Arpy played on our OPL team last year. And Dragku actually lived with us for about 4 months or so in the first split he was our team's sub.
There you go.
So actually 4 of those guys I know very well.
So you know all their weaknesses.
Yes, I'm not involved in the planning for the team anymore. So while that is true, I don't think the team will get any benefit out of that.
Alrighty. Are they to be feared though? Because Legacy obviously are to be feared. Who do you have today?
The same guys we had last week. We've got Topoon playing top. It's in the name. Babip, Tally, Raze, and Isles. All really good players. We've had Tally in now for, I think, this will be his 3rd week playing for us. He'll be, you might have seen him on socials, but he'll be finishing the split off with us.
How's he fitting in?
Really well,
Yeah.
really well. Obviously, he wasn't a mid laner, so in terms of the in-game, there was a lot for him to learn, but he's a great personality, a lot of experience playing competitive league, and he's a really upbeat guy. So definitely, I think, the sort of personality that we needed at the time.
Fantastic. Well, let's see how Tally and his personality stack up against Avant. Obviously, Tally's got 4 other people playing with him. It's not just him and a smile. But we're going to see all of that action coming up after the Macca's Champ Select.
Hey, Skimmy, we're here. Can we hear Skimmy? We can hear me. It's just me. I think it's just me. All right. Skimmy has no microphone, so welcome to my Champ Select. I'm going to talk through it. I'll let you know if I can hear you. You'll probably be able to hear yourself. We do have AV versus Legacy here, so, you know, join me as I talk about Champion Select for a while and ignore everything that goes behind me if there's production walking there. We've already got the 6 bans underway here. Olaf, Syndra, and Set taken away by AV. Lucian, Aphelios, and LeBlanc on the side of Legacy. Topoon's very early gone for a rotation of his top lane champion, as has Dragku, but Chaz can also play the Rumble. This is interesting, isn't it? You've missed production. They're actually ninjas. They did walk past the cameras and you haven't seen that one. Lisa's going to lock in the Jarvan for himself here as well, as Senna is the AD carry. Oh, on the other side. Varus actually going to be AD carry lock in here. So Senna could go with the Tahm Kench, something that we haven't seen a whole lot of. Will be locked in here by Legacy. Honestly, we haven't seen a lot of it because it's been banned. Makes you wonder what AV will do on the opposing side. Any luck? Maybe we give you a handheld. We can't talk in the same mic. That's inappropriate in this day and age. Surely we can get your head. Ah, well. We'll go through the second ban phase here, Skimmy. You just have to watch and understand what's going on because you'll have a lot of time to speak once we come back to you. Yuumi and Karma are going to be the bans on Legacy's side. Kindred taken away, actually. Very interesting. I guess when you've got the center Tahm Kench and even an Ornn in there, an AD carry in the jungle role would have been quite nice to have. You're also against the Jarvan, so once you get through to the level 6 point, that'd be pretty good. Karma and Yuumi taken away here. Looking to get rid of some bullies in bot lane. I guess Yuumi's a scaling support, so a free lane would never be a fun time. Karma also with very strong push. Still, I think when you've got a Varus, you could look for something like a Thresh.
Hello.
And just try and kill your opponents in lane. Tahm Kench is a neutralizer. Hey.
Can you hear me now?
Oh my god.
I'm online.
Whoa.
We're here. Production. Absolute gems that they are. Well, you've carried this incredibly hard so far, and
I haven't understood. Like, I've been saying words and they've all been happening.
You've been doing a fantastic job as a solo caster. We're getting it done. This is how we get it on. What are you thinking about this? Obviously, we've seen Tahm and Sen as the bot lane for such a long time now, being so damn impressive. We've seen it twice out of the Chiefs. Not able to find a win with it, though. They've definitely had the lane dominance to justify its necessity, but teams are sort of to start drafting around it, right? And really abuse it.
Yeah, I mean, the center Tahm Kench itself is always going to be the weak side, and they've been doing fine. You know, in the Chiefs games when they've managed to get it, they were fine.
Yep.
So I don't think you ever look at it and say that was the problem. Usually you'll look at the rest of the team. And
absolutely.
When you look at what Legacy have built with it, Gangplank now with a Nidalee, hard farm champions, scaling champions. You can put the jungle pressure just on that side of the map and know the center Tahm Kench will be fine. That means that you can maybe cover up the weaknesses of these scaling champions a little bit better.
A bit interesting though, hey, the fact that Babip's actually gone for the Nidalee, more sort of known for the supporting style, unless we're going to see a very much support style Nidalee.
Depends on what iteration of Babip you're thinking about.
Well,
When he first joined competitive League of Legends in the first place, he'd only just started in the OPL. He was a Nidalee player.
Okay.
Loves himself some farming in the jungle. I would say that he was, you know, he's kind of like Croc in terms of jungle play style, but he has obviously, you know, in his time spent with Mammoth, and of course with other teams in the past, been more of a facilitator when he was even with the Chiefs himself. So it's nice to see the shoe on the other foot here for Babip, actually being a carry.
Going back to his roots, where he can actually do some damage, and from the blanks, Tally going to be flexing on that Ornn, which is quite interesting for me, right? He's definitely been this one that's slotted into the team quite well.
Well, it's the Ornn and the Gangplank, right? When you're looking at Legacy's draft, they've got flexible champions. Tally's been a top laner for how long now? So seeing him come in and, you know, in the conversations we've had with Tally, he said, well, I'm not a mid laner. And a lot of the champions that he's played in mid lane, even though they can be mid laners, he's played top lane.
Sure.
So all of his experiences with the champions he's picking do seem to be reliant on that flexibility.
And it feels a little bit like Gravitas, right? When we had Beats push to the top lane and then had that flexibility between the likes of him and Seaman just to say, look, we can double flex this mid lane.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting to see how these rosters are adjusting, obviously, to these changes that are taking place. But what did you think about those two drafts? Obviously, it went through pretty quick. Obviously, we don't have it on screen anymore to see, but, you know, you look at Legacy, they obviously found a lot of strength with that tank composition to really bully out what the Chiefs are trying to do to them. This time they've got a little bit of that, but as you said, the hard farming to try and get them into that later stage of the game.
Yeah, so we've got the center time Kench, we've got flex champions, the Ornn and the Gangplank, and we've got a hard farming jungler. AV's side, which is something we haven't spoken too much about yet, you've actually got a pretty standard, I want to say, type of composition.
Yes.
Varus Thresh isn't necessarily your answer to a center time Kench, but it has a lot of strength in it. You know, both of those champions, you can control the lane, you can engage, both of you can engage. You've got kill threat with the layering of crowd control. The hard part is, and this has existed for years now, but Tahm Kench has always been a neutralizer to a Thresh. Because whoever you hook, he just eats and it nullifies everything. So you have to be very conscious of that.
Yep.
But in the same vein that, like, if you want to walk up and you want to flay somebody, you want to get in there close and press E, Tahm Kench is now in melee range of you. And so that's a mistake.
Yeah.
So a lot of this matchup is actually just nullified by neither champion wants to change the way that they're playing their ranges from each other. So bot lane fairly even, dependent on mechanics, of course. And it's Gunko playing, not Violet, just for everyone at home. Mid lane, Rumble should handle the lane fine. But, of course, a level-reliant champion won't be getting too much kill threat on early. Just be tickling here and there.
It was actually funny. I was watching Chaz's stream. Not sure if you caught it. He was actually duo queue with Guncrab playing bot lane Rumble support, right? And I thought, oh, this is interesting. Going to go for the the Avant scrim practice and solo queue. He was actually asking Guncrab for ideas. What am I leveling up here? What am I buying? What am I building? He whiffs a few equalizers. And he says to his defense, oh, look, if I was playing mid Rumble, those would have 100% landed. Because I'm playing support, though, support gap, support difference. So hopefully now he's in the mid lane again. We're going to see something pop off here because, yeah, they have a lot of hard engage, right? Obviously, the Fresh Lantern to get themselves out of jail for free. Most obvious one being the Cataclysm jump in and then jump out, save the Summoner.
Yeah, center time Kench can get caught up by the Jarvan, but one thing that I guess we have to kind of talk about is Ornn exists as a counter to walls as well. So
that's it.
You may not see that interaction happen, but it's entirely possible that Ornn just breaks the walls down and they're able to disengage no problem. Yeah, the Jarvan pick to me is interesting. I think this is just AV's mantra really coming in draft. And they've really recognized, they haven't always played towards it, but they have one strength. And to me, that's just playing to how they are strong. Play the champions that you're good at, play the style that you're good at, and don't try too hard to reinvent yourself, especially when you're struggling on the standings 8 weeks in.
Well, that's it, right? Avant in the last 2 weeks have had a bit of a rough showing. We're able to close out the week with a win against Gravitas, right? And they'll be looking to obviously build on that momentum and get themselves into check. Because, if we look at the league right now, amongst those 8 teams, the top 3 are, miles ahead of each other. 4th and 5th are neck and neck, and then, the bottom 3 are in their own pack to themselves. So, as we come into week 8, the standings are starting to become a little bit more apparent. Playoffs become a little bit more interesting as to how that run really takes place.
Yeah, kind of. Hey, I mean, at the same time, the top, there is a big gap, right, between last and first.
Yes.
But top of the table's losing. There are games being dropped, and so I think while we may have, cemented groups in the standings, we don't know who's going to win the split anymore.
Of course, no.
Where it really did feel like it was a 2-horse race. Suddenly there's a 3rd horse in there with Direwolves.
Yeah.
It's become a very interesting end to this split with 3 weeks left. And remember, there's Super Weeks in there. So there's still a whole lot of games left, and standings could change, flip on a dime.
And quite excited to see how does momentum, or actually how that break has affected these teams. How the shift to playing online also comes into effect. And if, really if that league standing will shake up any more than it has so far. So far, Tapoon finding himself a nice healthy lead, about double that of Draku. Bot lane quite content on Legacy. Just leave it here as it is and farm away.
Yeah, so there's a couple of aspects to this, as eventually he'll take the Lantern after wooding that last minion. One is top lane's pretty fight heavy. Junglers have been pretty farm centric, and mid laners are just going to withstand each other.
Yeah.
Bot lane's not doing anything. My concern with this is that this isn't AV, right? Like a winning strategy in my mind anyway for the side of Avant. Usually you want to see a Jarvan get onto the board in his first red buff rotation to try and at least pressure a lane and get a gank off.
Yep.
We haven't seen too much activity from him just yet. Chaz is currently the first one to move as he's bottom.
Well, this is looking good right now. He's not level 6, so won't have the equalizer, but the first blood will come out. That's going to be Isles that picks it up. A flash is used. Ray's also using his as well as he gets that last tick of heal coming across. Teleports are coming in. This is Lexi winning the full-step fight. Flash on in with the barrel, but Tapoon cannot find it. Resources burnt here.
Yeah, Tally and Topoon are level 5. If they were 6, I think that is kills. But Chaz is able to just walk away, use his scrap shield. He's got some brown boots on his feet as well, so he's got a little bit of extra movement speed there, and that gets him to safety. And now Legacy solo laners just have to hold hands and walk up the river, clear some waves together. Babip's the real benefactor of that as he gets to farm in top lane.
Legacy actually coordinated it pretty well, right? The fact that they burn a teleport, but they have Babip already parving to the top sides to collect that and not lose out.
Well, I wonder if they coordinated that well or if they just both teleported knowing that they needed to help, right? But
bit of an awkward timing, as you say, with no ultimates.
Yeah, because it's level 5. When you think to, like, was that the correct choice? Lisa may die.
Yeah, Lisa's incredibly low right now, and if Chaz is going to walk on down here.
All right, he just got it. So they do get the Drake, and that means, you know, 1 kill for Drake effectively is going to be the trade. It was a fight that Legacy chose to start as well. AV were the ones responding with Rumble being there, and that was a big bait that went wrong for AV, which then became, you know, they got 2 teleports from it, which was just walking down from Chaz. So when you think about it, hit level 6, Dragku now has teleport, and he's the only one on the map that does.
It'll be a little bit of a different story. Now bear in mind that Chaz does still have his ultimate online. Tally burnt his just before when they tried to get the collapse whilst Dragon was being taken, but he's definitely meeting the wrath off this Forge Master. He's taken a fair chunk of damage.
And I didn't notice this, Skimmy, because, you know, we had a pretty chaotic start to this one.
Yes.
We'll let this fight happen.
We will, because Gunkrab is in a lot of trouble right now. Doesn't have flash. Needs one more auto. That would have done it. Isles as tanky as he is.
Oh, but Babip's here, so the dive is on. 1 spear could just kick this off. Babip locks down 1.
Beautiful snipe there, finding it underneath that tower. Waiting to try and crash this wave on in. There's no response right now from Avant. They're still a few seconds away.
He didn't want to leave the turret.
The root doesn't connect.
Dragku would have to teleport. Chaz has already walked here to try and defend, so they should be able to hold this one. Worst case scenario, equalizer on the minion wave, even though Chaz walks a pretty aggressive path there. That was just the AD carry dying from AV. Now, the thing that I wanted to highlight,
yes,
Isles has teleport. I thought he was running Spellbook. That's a teleport, right?
It is. Teleport with Guardian.
Yeah. That's unexpected. That's not something that I have seen, even if that does exist around the world. So that took me by surprise. And, you know, the chaotic start to this one, very hard to track.
Reinventing the wheel.
That teleport for a champion like Tahm Kench without the Spellbook. Very curious to see how he goes.
Well, the dive attempt doesn't go across, so Dragku does get to hang on to that teleport in the top lane and work his way closer to the CS count that Topoon's been building up here. So in a relatively slow game for the junglers.
Dragku still has the teleport, so after that trade in top lane, he's in a very comfortable position for himself. You'd want to see something happen around the map for the side of AV, even if they wanted to flip their bot lane up towards Herald. And put Dragku bot lane with a TP advantage. That would be nice, given that the dragon isn't there on the map. But right now, they're just holding their lanes in the 2v2.
Power farming continues, but there's an ult in mid lane right now. We're going to stack it twice. Gangplank gets amongst it as well. It's going to be a triple assist. Many members coming on through. And now do they turn their attention with Babip on double buff straight towards this Rift Herald.
The global Gangplank ultimate, Ornn being able to engage from long ranges as well as in Italy being there. And no summoner spells to speak of for the Rumble in mid lane. Was definitely just going to go down, and there goes that Herald. The opportunity that I think was there for AV. Sorely missed for them in the end. After another good play from Legacy, and it really is just them controlling the tempo right now.
Yeah, Babip's definitely been able to find those moments where he is going for those ganks and executing it accordingly. Finding himself 2 kills to his name. At least a bit of a slow start for him. He's definitely been power farming, sacrificing a lot of vision.
He got a dragon. Actually, I take that back. He got a dragon. But the one gank they got off was Chaz.
Yes. Babip is going to fall too far behind on that one, though. Picks up the scuttle, rotates through to a top clear. Now the question begs where they decide to go. He's going to go for the reset, so must be sitting on a fair chunk of gold to get that one upgraded.
Just so much pressure in bot lane is this center and Tahm. I think that, you know, AV kind of picked themselves into this in a respect.
Yeah.
But it's not meant to go this way as Chaz.
Hang on a minute.
Dead.
Mid
and that's
lane.
actually a Herald summon if they want it as well.
This is a huge tempo shift. They may just look for it right now. Take down that first turret plate, look for a second if they can, which they should do with Cannon Wave there.
3 plates left. They could summon the Herald late if they wanted.
Well, ideally they want those 2 plates left, right, for the summon in. It looks like they're going to try and time it efficiently in this regard, so the true damage comes in and it knocks it with the one-shot.
Cute there from Lisa, smites a minion to force turret aggro onto the Ornn, but
There
it
it
doesn't
is.
matter.
And this will get a second headbutt, potentially. But Lisa's able to hold it. Does get the headbutt off in the end. So second tower down to half. So mid lane exposed right now. And this offers a lot of options for Legacy just to rotate freely. If bot lane for Avant was already in a spot above it, this definitely hurts it that much more. Those dive attempts that we saw 5 minutes prior, Avant are that much more susceptible to it now.
Well, that's it. They're punishing Chaz's roam incredibly hard. You know, Babip comes mid the second. Ornn can use the ultimate for kills. They get it not just once, twice. They get a turret with it as well. Commanding the map through mid lane is the best way that you can play League of Legends as well when that opportunity presents itself. And it does through AV, using their mid laner as a conduit for a gank. And suddenly he loses his first turret and he's very far behind. Sorcerer's Shoes do nothing against a full Abyssal Mask.
Yeah. This Ornn is definitely at one of those stages where you get a little bit scared. Always so deceptively strong, especially when that pillar comes across, but now Avant looks to try and change the tune. Minion wave was crashing into his tower. So they'll turn our attention now to this topside jungle, go hunting for the Nidalee. Nidalee, mind you, is actually going for the dragon, so accentuating this lead that much more. They're already on a 5k buffer, 4 kills to none.
Yeah, I mean, AV flipped the map at the timing of the Drake. No Herald to be seen makes me think that they're just doing that to try and get some extra farm onto their AD carry, who has gone for a very unconventional build. It's a cheap lethality item though. Not a bad choice, as Chaz.
We'll get him some good vision control there with the Umbral Glaive, but it doesn't matter if that ulti does not land because they still get the execution. Now the members come on through. Abyssal Voyage to get Isles into the fight. The box goes down as Appy looks to disengage, but between the spears, the pouncing, and just the raw damage from Legacy, he will not survive that encounter.
You know, there's also a teleport from Varus to get himself to safety. 12 minutes. 35 seconds in the game. Suddenly this has become a big brain play. We'll see if they get anything from it. It's unlikely. Top win sells W.
Oh, that is going to be the route as the ultimate comes out here. Looking to try and get the Blight online. But the poke just isn't enough, even with that lethality.
You know, I don't often say things 12 minutes in that could be considered ultimatums, like this game is over. But you feel it, don't you? You know, looking at a game like this, it makes you want to say it. Nice hook.
That is a nice hook, and that's going to be a massive shutdown, especially onto Chaz, one of the key components of this squad.
They just got a second one.
They're going to find those kills. Tapoon gets collapsed upon as well, as you say. Now, if they can find a triple kill here, this would actually look pretty good for them. Riftherald won't be too far away. The ultimate's going to come across them, Senna to bide himself some time. Big shield no goes down to Tally. He's going to find himself in a Baron pit where he likes to clutch on 10% HP. Now,
he's cooked.
Is the overchase on? It looks to be the case. Draku's going to rock on up. Hits the... he hits the plant. Rather adventurous at that one. Guncraft joins the fight from across the wall. He's going to look for the kill and he gets the shutdown as well. It's going to be a bit of a clown fiesta around this pit entrance. Kills going left, right, and center. And Tapoon will respawn, TP in, and say no more.
The Lantern will get the Varus to safety. At the end of the day, that was a lot of kills going back and forth between both of these teams. Still, you're seeing a massive Tahm Kench that just cannot be killed. And with how long it took for them to kill Tally, that really does show you the state of the game as their damage goes. There's, you know, lethality builders in the AD carry role. Cheap build, early spike, yes.
Yep.
But it is still a very hard to kill mid laner and almost impossible to kill support champion. So those things start to really add up. And I mean, even in that fight, you saw Isles, with his Devourer available, to perhaps save Tally, just walked past him to start auto-attacking people with the dead man's plate slow. So, how confident they're feeling. You know, Raze uses the heal to keep him happy, so...
Yeah.
Still a couple of unexpected kills, maybe unnecessary, such as...
Well, that's the double brutal proc, and with the boys waiting in the wings, they pick up an easy kill once again onto Appy. Roaming around, hasn't gone for the Mobies, has those swiftness boots since the buff. A little bit easy to get those ones online now.
I think what's interesting, I am going to bring this back again, is the item build choice of the Varus. It matches the spike timings of Raze, and it does actually equalize the amount of vision control that they have respectively around the map, which I think is very cool. If you're going to play the comp, like say this was a perfectly even game, and you know objectives become the place that we fight, that is a cool idea as they try and attack the fastest Toad you've ever seen.
There was a part of me that had that idea or that suspicion. I suppose another part is the fact that we got a team fight here, so let's focus on that one for the meantime. Drake, who's going to be the one to jump into that team fight to start things off with. He's massive right now, and it looks like they've got the tempo to try and chase this one down as Tally's down to half. Isles will disengage. Tapu just has no intent of even joining this fight. No summoners, no ultimate, no care in the world. Draku goes far too forwards, and he's going to get punished as Raze comes in with the laser from downtown. Now they go for the collect. The lantern comes out, the box to drop 2. And the max range roots. Senna does not miss those. Chaz going to burst every single bit of damage with that flame spitter, but no stopwatch, no Zonias. No chance to buy more time. And oh, that's just disgusting. That is a clean swipe right there. 4 members die. Only Lisa surviving for a potential smite steal on this Drake to spawn.
And just an overchase from AV. That last dash forwards from Dragku was so unnecessary, and that really gives them the counter engage that they were looking for at that point. You know, you're chasing into Legacy's vision. Got to know when to call it quits. Unfortunately for them, one spell too far, and that's how quickly Legacy come back with the punish. Now they find themselves even more in the lead. As this moment, just walk away.
And they're chasing him blindly, right? The fact is, only a ward goes down now.
Exactly. There's a control ward to the left, so they don't even know where Isles is. And they've used so much already trying to get the engage off. Unfortunately for them, at that point, even though Appy puts up a big old arena, it's not going to stop anyone from getting in there. They're just all going to die. Again, it's very quick this time, Kench. He's always going to chase you down. Nice little kill there from Babip on the follow-up.
Yeah, there was a, returning to my point from beforehand, wondering if, you know, the Umbral spike was to try and match the fact that we've seen Legacy be quite good at their vision control and definitely set up bush parties where they can hang out and definitely prevent you from being too far ahead with that snowball. But the fact is, right now, you're down by nearly 10k gold. It's definitely working into those double digits. And you can feel it from those skirmishes, just the power spikes, especially with the likes of multiple members having bounties to their name on Legacy. You've got the power spikes, obviously, of Trinity Force now completed on this Gangplank. Lichbane on the 6-1 Nidalee.
Yeah, we're also at that point where, like, you are a lethality Varus, and I think there is still merit to that champion and that build. But there's a Nidalee heal. You know, there's a Gangplank with a heal. It's just going to be very hard to be a lethality Varus into your opposing team composition, especially when you fall behind. I think very reliant on being, you know, at least even early was AV, and unfortunately, you know, things have gone very differently as Isles. Where are you off to, bud?
He's going to look to try and engage in the mid lane right now. Now comes the Ornhorn again, forcing out a flash from Appy, even though it did not connect.
Oh!
Isles with the fat finger on that stopwatch. That one's gone.
What's going? Tally throws his ult through the wall and a stopwatch from Isles.
There's no webcam, you can't see the reaction. No need to worry about that one. Flash to juke out the flag and drag.
Well. You deserve that one. Nice spear though from Babip, some extra damage back. And Isles is going to heal up a decent amount of that with his grey health anyway.
Now top and bot lanes are prepped super well. They're pushing into Avant right now. Babip is the one that has the Rift Herald online, so they want to try and get this collapsed if they can. Cataclysm comes out rather adventurously, and quite honestly they're happy with that one because it now prevents them having any form of reliable engage to even contest this one.
Yeah, Legacy hard counter them just by walking away. Very, very non-committal. Their attempts at engaging there, really. You're left wanting watching AV play at the moment in this game.
Yeah.
And I have to say, you know, a lot of the split has been Chaz playing well and really keeping AV in games, if that makes sense. And now this is one of those moments where he is 1-5, and you start to see the wheels fall off a little bit here for AV. You know, there has been some mistakes, actually, from the opposing side of Legacy sporadically littered through the game, but nothing, you know, game-changing. I think for AV, Chaz tries to make the early move, and then Legacy just punish him, and suddenly the game feels very difficult.
Yeah, Chaz has definitely been a crutch on this roster, and the fact that Legacy have identified that and just bullied them out of existence. Does have Lilandry's online with those Sork shoes, but very weak compared to his counterpart, especially if he's trying to go up against Dawn in that side matchup. Even the Gangplank can be very hard to try and win that matchup and even keep these lanes balanced out in their favor.
Did that just go?
Draku is grouping, so bear that in mind. They're sticking as a 5-man unit looking to try and collapse.
Well, they still have Herald, so Legacy on the opposite side will want to place that soon, so I can understand AV grouping up to try and, you know, match that location. Don't let any big snowballs happen, but we'll see if they're able to react in time to Babbitt wanting to place this, it seems, top lane. There's just a gun crab at the moment.
Riku is working towards that second item, has the highest CS in the game right now, so despite that grouping, he's definitely keeping one up for the team, working towards that death stance to make sure he's an incredibly strong target. The flag drag coming on in with the Cataclysm to try and lock out Isles, but the fight takes place in mid, and it takes place in top lane too. Stopwatch onto the man Lisa, out goes the smite as he goes on down. Members are falling, shutdowns across. That's going to be a 4-man wipe so far. They're looking for the 5-man ace as Chaz runs down to bot lane. The Rift Herald comes in, it's going to be an inhibitor to fall.
They may try and just go for the Dancing Herald in this game. That really is how it has been going. 3 kills for Babbitt in that last fight. A 4-for-1 Chaz, no ultimate to stop the minions from pushing. I think we will finally, in a competitive game, it has been a little while, maybe get to see a Shelly dance. Those respawn timers are deceptively low, actually. I'll take that back. They're not going to be able to end, but they will get both Nexus turrets down 21 minutes in.
Scary proposition now with Avant's base looking very bare. No Dragon, not for a few minutes still yet.
Low death timers, weren't they? You forget how early it is in the game.
Well, we're thinking like, 30, 40 second respawn. The end was near. Wasn't to be.
I mean, a level 9 Thresh has a pretty low death timer. He's 2 levels behind his lane opponent. Not quite Croc experience differences between junglers, a little bit more active around the map throwing spears. Babbitt right now is, we'll see this fight again and just take note of how long it is that Isle stays alive for. Yeah, all of this time is Legacy winning elsewhere on the map. They've killed 1, now they've killed 2. RP dies, and that's basically at the same time as 1 member. 1 very tanky Tahm Kench dying from the side of Legacy. You want to speak about the strengths of that draft? Well, that is one of them, as that was a Varus ultimate used.
Well, it's going to be a do or die moment for Avant right now. Down by 10k exactly at this stage. Baron is the only objective that's available, and that's Appy gone again. No chance. He had no summoners, had no cooldowns.
Oh, he's too quick.
Legacy on the hunt. The tongue will miss, but the horn will come on through. And as the Cataclysm lands, it spells disaster for Gunkrab, whose demise was already set in stone there.
Yeah, unfortunately, do or die Skimmy becomes die or die, as Legacy definitely looking towards ending here.
Far too strong at this stage, Rusty. They are taking names, and they are writing them down, because 23 minutes into this game, Legacy are looking for the victory. They're diving the fountain. They pick up the snipe. And Babbitt, stopwatch, mates are in support. He does not fall on down. Legacy get the first win on the board.
And a very convincing win at that. 23 minutes in, 4-22 in kills as well. It never really looked like they were going to lose at any moment. The only thing that you would try and fault them on was like the couple of random kills that happened here and there. This extra kill in bottom lane that we didn't get to see out of nowhere. But like, there was no moment where you're looking at that game and you're like, they're done. Yeah,
there was definitely no worrying point where you thought Avant may have a window back into this game, right? There were definitely the side lane pushes that were happening at times, and you had a conscious of maybe Drag who can split push and really get those items online, but quite honestly, there was never really that idea, that opportunity to capitalize. And yeah, Legacy just ran through the gates, right? They had a plan, had an execution, and I really think it started from the jungle influence, even very early on, the fact that Babbitt was able to influence so many lanes, and really just hammer home this point onto Chaz that, like, we're going to make sure that you have no influence on this game. You're going to be so far behind that split pushing becomes so apparent, and then when it comes to those team fights, the rest of your squad is just that weak.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 points here for me. One, we saw a center Tahm Kench very successfully work in League of Legends in this game. We haven't seen too many wins from that just yet, but we got to see it work. It handled the 2v2 nicely, and I think the important takeaway for me there was that they were given a very easy bot lane to go against. Yeah. Thresh, I spoke about it during the game, is pretty good into the Tahm Kench, but vice versa. But the center seems to enable a little bit too much there. Glacial Augment slows onto a Thresh. Very easy to chase them down if a single mistake is made. Yeah. And Legacy are, all class in the bottom lane. They're able to pick up on the smallest opportunities and get the kills. And, very convincing was the center and Tahm Kench in this one. And then, of course, the Ornn Nidalee, the other duo that you would say in this game that played it out brilliantly once they got their single moment, which was AV trying to make a play. It wasn't AV, it was Chaz.
Yeah.
Because I honestly don't know where Lisa was in that game. The man was missing for a lot of the early stages.
It was, and I think, yeah, as you highlight, right, the gank attempt that took place at a bit of a wonky time, only level 5 online there, so we're not going to have those crucial ultimates. Does actually bait out the teleports from both a Legacy to try and respond, but as you say, could have been a very different situation if level 6 was online there, but regardless, that's how the situation panned out for Avant. It was one of those games where you say, look, this is what they do. They play, they draft standard, they go aggressive, they look to try and make things happen in the early game to try and accentuate. We never actually got to see that early game. It was kind of like a conceit and sort of give it up.
Yeah, I mean, AV, I always feel like I want to see aggression from them, and we very rarely do get like the fully fledged aggressive solo queue style of AV. But, you know, even Dragku, who had the teleport advantage, had minutes worth of priority perhaps to make plays, was almost invisible. At least on a ganking jungler wasn't really there. And like, I think this is one of those games where they'll be able to go back at it, look at it, and be like, we honestly could have done things at certain points here, or they'll have to look at it and say, we couldn't, even though we should have been able to.
Yeah.
What do we change about this to, you know, enable us to play our style better? Because it's clearly not working.
Yeah. Well, that does it for game number 1, guys. Game number 2 is right after this break, so don't go anywhere. Looking good right now. He's not level 6, so won't have the equalizer, but the first blood will come out. That's going to be Isles that picks it up. A flash is used. Ray's also using his as well. And the max range roots. Senna does not miss those. Chaz going to burst every single bit of damage with that flame spitter, but no stopwatch, no Zonias. No chance to buy more time, and oh, that's just disgusting. Look at the flag drag coming on in with the Cataclysm to try and lock out Isles, but the fight takes place in mid, and it takes place in top lane too. Stopwatch onto the man Lisa, out goes the smite as he goes on down. Members are falling, shutdowns across, and they are writing them down because 23 minutes into this game, Legacy are looking for the victory. They're diving the fountain, they pick up the snipe, and Babbitt, Stopwatch, mates are in support. He does not fall on down. Legacy get the first win on the board.
Feeling the heat? Grab a pineapple or pineberry frozen Fanta mix at Macca's. With 36 flavours, it's the largest range in Australia. Grab one for only $1. A little goes a long way at Macca's.
Watch.
Whole countryside's on edge after Foss Barrel.
Yeah, filthy mages. They show up here. They show up here, and I'll come. Tedric? Hey, Tedric. Help me. Tedric!